What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 20 of the Raw Report. I am your host, Jerry Jericho, along with my co-host, Bone Santana and X. And this is the Raw Report, guys. What's up? What's up? We got a jam-packed show. We're in the NFL playoffs, NFC, AFC, going head-to-head, and it's very exciting as the season comes to a close. We got the Super Bowl in about 2 weeks. But first, we got to talk about this very dramatic past weekend between the NFC and the AFC showdowns. And I got to say, every single game out here was unbelievable, guys. This is top-tier football. It's everything that we wanted throughout the entire season. So let's get into it, man. Bro, how about them Giants? X, talk to me. How about them Giants? Whoa, the Eagles, Giants, what's up? Let's kick it off rough.
It was a good season, man. We had a good season. We were playing without our top four receivers. We made it far. Considering the lineup we had, no one predicted that we would finish top 8 in the league. And, when it comes down to it, we're playing with house money. Saquon, he was playing well, although I guess they planned to save him for later in the game, and then the game just got more out of reach as it progressed. And, the Eagles were just running the ball down the Giants' throats. The few times they did pass, they came out passing, and then they quickly switched to the run, which the Giants couldn't stop. So it comes down to that. Giants secondary got exposed a bit, and the Eagles will be moving on. Them versus San Fran will be a great game. I'm excited to see that one. But, yeah, the Eagles are clicking on all cylinders, and I got to tip my hats to them.
Yeah, that game went – that was the game, like I was saying earlier, it should have been a bloodbath. The first two matchups were like that, hard-hitting, barely, few missed tackles, but – hey, I couldn't say any better than X. It's just, no one really painted the Giants to be there, and they did. And let's see how that goes for next season. Philly moves on.
Yeah, I got to give my respect to the Giants, especially the head coach. I think you guys personally have I personally think you guys have the head coach of the year. And nobody was expecting you guys to go the distance, and you guys basically did what you could with the weapons that you had. And exploited every opportunity you guys had to get to where you were in the playoffs, especially, having Saquon play a huge role this season. He picked up everybody's slack, in my opinion, carrying the Giants. And Daniel Dimes, he's figuring out different skill sets. He's becoming a utility man out here. He's throwing the ball. He's running the ball. He's becoming more of an available player out on the field. So that's good to see, the Giants in the playoffs. Unfortunately, the Eagles have a top-tier team, so they gave it all they had. They hung in there. Let's see what happens next season. But it was a hell of a game nonetheless, guys. We still got to see Jalen Hurts shine, A.J. Brown firing on all cylinders. And man, it was very exciting for me to see that, man. So it was pretty exciting nonetheless. Another exciting game was definitely the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills, that rematch that they needed to have from Week 17 that everybody was looking forward to. But unfortunately, man, Josh Allen didn't show up.
That's right. You see this man? You see this guy? You see this guy in the background? That was me. That was me all 3 drives, bro. The first 3 drives from Cincinnati, I was like, ooh, Joe Shiesty dealing and wheeling and moving and they had no answer. They had no answer for T. Higgins. They had no answer for Jamar Chase. They had no answer for Tyler Boyd. Mixon and Perrine were running with authority. Mind you, the Bengals had 3 backup offensive linemen starting this game. 3. At home. At home, Buffalo choked. I'm here right now. I'm saying it. I nominate Josh Allen for choke of the weekend so far. I nominate him. Dak Prescott was a very, very close number 1, but I believe that Josh Allen laid the bigger egg. Only scored 10 points in a divisional game at home in the snow, according to Buffalo, right? That's their elements. Western New York, which in reality, come on, it should be Southern Canada. It's the Canadian Bills, if I'm being real honest.
Ooh, the Canadian Bills. No, I think it comes down to, they just came unprepared. They just thought they were going to walk in, and this wasn't the same Cincinnati team that could possibly make a Super Bowl as they did last year. And they were wrong. And Cincinnati just came through. They were prized on getting the ball out of Burrow's hand fairly quick. and they were making quick plays, sharp routes. Everything just seemed to be clicking on offense for them, as you mentioned. And I think one of the sleepers next year is their tight end, Hayden Hurst. He caught a game. So I think he's one of those players that you have to keep an eye on, even going into next year, because we all know about Chase. We all know about Higgins. However, the running game is getting older, and who is their third option? Is it going to be Boyd? No, I think it's going to continue to be Hayden Hurst, and he's going to, really start to make a difference if he keeps getting targets, and Joe Burrow's just going to have more options.
I think Joe Burrow is the real deal Holyfield, guys. He's a future Hall of Famer. I think he gave it exactly what he was supposed to give it. He has that desire from last year. He didn't take that L lightly last year. He wanted his rematch with Patty. So he got it, man. Josh Allen, unfortunately, he didn't arrive to the occasion. We see Stephon Diggs highly upset out here and basically just bitching him out, throwing his helmet, doing whatever, just crying all this, towards the end of the season. But, Burrito showed up, guys. Burrito showed up. And he did his job, and so did the Cincinnati Bengals. They're stacked, guys. They got receivers, they got running game, they even got the tight ends. I like your pick, and they were just firing on all cylinders, guys. Let's just be real. Joe Burrow is the real deal, and he wanted his rematch with Patty, which brings me to my next point here. How does the Kansas City Chiefs struggle to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, who they only beat by 7 points? That means if you would have just let up a little bit, Trevor Lawrence would have been going to a championship game right now. What's up, man? Is this a struggle for Patty right now?
Nah, he did get hurt. He wasn't at his full capacity. He wasn't at full health. Obviously, they were still running the ball. Jacksonville did have a chance to win even late in the game. However, they just couldn't seal the deal. They could probably play this game 100 times, and the Chiefs would win 100 times. Just because Jacksonville doesn't know how to win these games yet. It's like a young Warriors team. I think they're going to be very good. I don't want to say they're going to be a dynasty, but they will be a playoff team in the upcoming years. Jacksonville has weapons, and, Trevor Lawrence is a star. And that's what was keeping them in the game, Trevor Lawrence. But, there's nothing like a Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce connection in the rest of the league. And I think that is what put this game over the edge. Kelce had 14 catches and 2 touchdowns. So,
God, my outline is different. I agree with everything that you said, because everything you said is exactly that, right? Like there's no comparison to the Mahomes to Kelce connection. That is by far, that's the new Manning to Marvin Harrison, basically. Just know it's an automatic. It's a plus. It's the defense, bro. The reason why Jacksonville was in that shit because that is the Achilles heel of the Kansas City Chiefs. And going into this weekend, they have to have a great game plan because Joe Shiesty can throw that ball. They can score points. And Mahomes magic, it's been done because year in, year out, this man has to play his ass off, create miracles with that arm just to move on to the next round or win the Super Bowl. You feel me? Like I feel like they're a little too reliant on that. And if they keep fucking around, they might just find out that Patrick Mahomes can't save them year in and year out. Right? So that's one thing that sucks about the Chiefs. Yeah, they're my favorite, but you can score on them. And if you score on them too much, watch out. You might have
you start wearing
upset.
them down. Logically, you start wearing them down. And Jacksonville, nobody was expecting Jacksonville to be far into the playoffs, guys. Nobody was thinking about them facing Patty, which they should have been crushed, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It should have been more of a competition between the Giants and the Eagles than it was for the Chiefs and the Jaguars. That should have been a landslide,
I'm saying.
It should have been 27-zip, really. But, Doug Peterson, man, he keeps bringing that offensive genius to them. And I keep telling y'all, they might get in trouble with the rest of the league because he's just going to pick all these unsuspecting players and then stick you in the playoffs. So, but you're right. If you run it up on the Chiefs, the chances are Patty's not 100%. In my opinion, he's been carrying the Chiefs his entire time with respect to Travis Kelce and all that. And now they don't got Tyreek Hill out there. So it's only a matter of time before Patty starts to get tired. You start wearing him down. And other players, the supporting cast just needs to contribute a little bit more to the game. You know what I mean? So whenever Patty's down, they can come and bring up that energy and the score. And you know, the next thing that I wanted to bring up was always my favorite matchup of the week, and it's only because Dallas lost, and it's the 49ers and Dallas. Guys, talk to me, man.
The choke job number 2, the Jerry Jones' very own Dallas Cowboys. I know you guys have a lot to say about it because I know you guys dislike the Cowboys as much as I dislike the Jets and Bills. But damn, yo, they were in that game right up until the end when the ball was put in Dak Prescott's hand. Legacy drive. Legacy drive, right? This is it. This is the stage for you to put down all the naysayers that Dak got it. Dak is good enough to go on to the next round, and it's just a team that has to keep on building around him.
Guys, on 3, let's say Dak is ass. 1, 2, 3.
Dak is ass.
It's terrible. It's terrible who he thinks he is. And it's one of these situations where they act like they're going to go in and bust ass, and then they get everybody excited, and then they go ahead and they put up 12 points, and the kicker can't make a fucking PAT. And Jerry Jones has to go down there and talk to him and give him a pep talk. He's basically –
Oh, my God, the pep talk.
You know they're
that
not
was
bringing –
so cringe.
Yeah, you know
you had to.
Cowboys they look outclassed in that game, and their defense they fought a hell of a game to get outclassed like that on offense by not even, you know, scoring much. They scored a touchdown, missed a PAT, and then it was all hell from there.
Bro, yeah, honestly, one of the best matchups was the 49ers left tackle Trent Williams versus the all-pro edge rusher from Dallas Cowboys, Michael Parsons. Yo, that was something to watch. I'm about the trenches, and Williams got that. That was hard. That was hard.
That was special.
Listen, rightfully so. Dallas should have taken this game. Everybody knows it. This was another choke job by Dak Prescott, an overpriced Dak Prescott. They're paying this guy $45 million to choke on playoff games. It should have been the Cowboys and Eagles this week. But unfortunately, this guy, what is his name? Brock Purdy gets lucky once again. The third string quarterback for the 49ers just manages to cling on with Christian McCaffrey and the rest of them. So they're going to go off into the NFC sunset against the Eagles next week. But everybody knows Dallas should have been that team. Dallas should have been in the championship game against Philly, and they just choked once again. It was so cringe to see Jerry Jones out there trying to pep talk his kicker before the game or whenever he was practicing his kicks, telling him, man, you got to do a better job. And sure enough, it's like he knew he was gonna fuck everything up, right? So now they got to re-scramble the thing again. He's probably gonna be, knee deep in NFL business this offseason. As a matter of fact, they probably saw him in Miami today, his yacht out here, and Tom Brady. But, again, Dak Prescott chokes, and the 49ers are now going to face the Eagles, which I think this is the end of the road for Brock Purdy. And we'll get into the predictions towards the end of the show. But one very important thing to talk about right now, who is the bigger choke job right now in the NFL? Josh Allen or Dak Prescott?
Oh,
Josh Allen.
As Josh, because we didn't expect it from him. We did not expect it from him. We thought there was going to be a rivalry, at least giving Cincinnati a fight at home, and they didn't even put up a fight.
At all, bro. I expected something like Manning and Brady. A game that you knew it was all about that possession. You know what I'm talking about? Those good classic games. It had to be on prime time every single time they played. It had to. And if it wasn't the playoffs, it was even more. And no, man, and nah. Cincinnati came out, scored 3 on the first 3 drives, touchdowns. And yes, I'm saying touchdowns. Everybody here knows that was a touchdown at the end. Buffalo got a home call, and it is what it is. But Buffalo did not bring it. The offensive juggernaut, the Super Bowl favorites, Canadian Bills didn't bring it. Nothing brought a bigger smile to my face. I was just like Stephen A. But Dak had him in there until towards the end. And that is the only credit I'll give Dak above what Josh Allen did, to be honest.
I think they might have been for Cooper Rush, really going to go there. You know what I mean? Like if Dak was gonna come out that flat, I give it to San Fran. They have a hell of a defense. However, Dak should have put up some points, especially in that last drive. They needed to put up some points, and they choked. And it wasn't even like, oh, at least it was some good play calling. No, they had Zeke at center, hiking the ball. I know Mike McCarthy was smiling when he fucking called that play, that fat fucking slob. Like, like it's one of those things. Cowboys just year after year, they know how to fucking pick their coaches. I swear.
Man, bro.
Yeah, very embarrassing for the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm really happy to see that. Just like you're happy to see the Buffalo Bills struggling over there, Bones. And you'll be happy to know everybody in your division is out of here.
Their window is closing, bro. 3 straight heartbreaking seasons. That Super Bowl title window is closing, and you should love to see it as a rival fan.
Yeah, it's flat out been almost impossible for the Buffalo Bills to get anything going, guys. You know what I mean? Like, just notorious for coming up short, And so does the Dallas Cowboys. We're just seeing choke job after choke job after choke job. So I personally think Dak Prescott, for being a $45 million quarterback, for being, one of the top paid quarterbacks in the league, I think he comes up short. I really think he's an average quarterback. He gets his little consistent stats every season, but he's nothing special, and he doesn't arrive in the most important occasions. And that's something that top-tier quarterbacks, Hall of Fame quarterbacks, need to be able to do, essentially. So I'm going to go ahead with Dak. I really think that he's the biggest choke artist in the world right now. And for being such a high-caliber player, they really should start looking elsewhere, perhaps trading him or something. But we'll see. We'll see what Jerry Jones decides to do. I know Zeke is coming towards the end of his deal as well. And Tony Pollard just got injured, guys. So that speaks volumes. I think the only thing they really have is, Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb, But aside from that, the Dallas Cowboys don't have jack.
At least they're classy about it, bro. Classy. At least they're classy. Well, actually, no, not really. They did keep up that tweet about how Dak Prescott made an error in the game when they couldn't. The actual team Twitter page tweeted about how Dak couldn't afford to make a mistake and threw those 2 picks. But then again, you had the star wide receiver from the Buffalo Bills, Stephon Diggs, openly question and belittle their starting quarterback on national TV.
Yeah, you saw that. Completely frustrated, just straight dissing him out on the sidelines in the middle of the snow in Buffalo,
with a captain badge on his jersey, showing no restraint. It's falling apart and it's gorgeous. It's falling apart and it's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, we all saw Diggs get upset there, but with reason. He wasn't getting the ball thrown to him. He's used to at least 11, 12 targets, and he had 4 receptions or like seven targets or something like that. And he wanted more. It was a big game, and he was probably taking it easy towards the end of the year to turn up for the playoffs. And then here they are in the playoffs, and they lose to Cincinnati. It was one of those things they weren't expecting that, and they got smacked in the mouth.
And I feel you on that, but like from this point of view, right? Like you're supposed to build up your quarterback, right? You're supposed to build up your quarterback. They give you that captain crest for a reason. You're supposed to be a leader, an example to the team. But you out here criticizing the man that's supposed to lead you. And like counterpoint, Tyreek had way more reasons to complain about the quarterback situation in Miami than Stephon Diggs had. But yeah, all you hear Tyreek is praise Tua. Week in, week out, whether it's a good or bad result.
Right.
Stephon Diggs had a chance, had a moment to really think about what we were going to do, and he decided to openly criticize his quarterback, and that to me is a downfall. It's the writing on the wall right there, bro. That's just respect, doggy. I mean, you should hype him up. Be like, it's okay. You missed me 10 times, but this 11th throw, you're going to get me, and it's going to be for a touchdown.
Yeah, no,
that's true. I think scoring 10 points is just flat out unacceptable in such an important game. And, unfortunately, Cincinnati really did bring that heat. They're the better team. Mm-hmm. And, the running game didn't come through. The wide receivers didn't come through. I mean, the quarterback didn't come through. The defense didn't come through. So Buffalo just falls short overall, man. And Josh Allen is sharing the large part of the responsibility. So we're getting into now the predictions, guys. First thing to predict: Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Where do they end up next?
Oh my God! I'm gonna let Egg start. Before he goes on, I just want to give a shout out. I just want to give a shout out to my boy X. How this man is special. You know why he's special? His secondary team, he's rocking right now. Look at that hat. Look at that classic fitted. And I'm not saying this because he's wearing it, but everybody knows that my secondary team is the New York Giants. Simply because of the sole fact that they took down Tom Brady twice. And that Eli Manning forever gets respect in this household. There will be no Eli Manning slander around you. You will cast his hands as if I'm a diehard Giants fan.
Listen, Eli Manning is a Tom Brady killer. He deserves the utmost respect, like Nick Foles.
Oh God! Oh my God! Oh my!
Okay, so what was the question again? I'm sorry. Before I got
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Where do they end up?
Oh, I'm thinking Tom Brady either goes back to the Bucs or ends up in sunny Miami, Florida. Two fifth-year option coming up. However, this year he's not making all that much money, so they can afford a Tom Brady perhaps if he's willing to take a little pay cut because they do have a good team. If he doesn't want to stay with Mike Evans and Godwin, who are some great options, but yet they've been banged up, and it might not be the best fit for him at the moment. Whereas the Dolphins look like all they need is a quarterback. Same thing with the New York Jets. But I think their eyes are set on Aaron Rodgers. That's just what I think. I think they have a lot of weapons at their disposal. Aaron Rodgers needs some weapons. We saw him last year in Green Bay, without Devontae Adams, and there was a noticeable difference from his MVP form the year before. So let's see where these two quarterbacks go, and I'm interested to see what you guys think about where these two guys are going to end up, Brady and Rodgers.
All right, so I think Tom Brady is definitely going to leave Tampa Bay. It's definitely over in Tampa Bay. I really foresee him going either to the Raiders or he's going to end up in Miami. I'm going to go ahead and side with you on that. In a far-fetched world, he might end up with the 49ers. He might just decide to pull a LeBron and go back home and just stick it with the 49ers. All right. So I definitely see those three options being very viable. As I mentioned earlier, they seen Tom Brady out here in the city of Miami, and for some strange reason, Jerry Jones is out here with his big ass yacht. And it's a possibility. It's a possibility he might be sharing time, as I hypothetically was speaking about it earlier. Maybe they have a 2-quarterback system where Tua just, is a backup quarterback and he's a starting quarterback on the road, and Tom Brady just gets to chill at home. You know what I mean? And they could just do the 1-2 punch. I don't know what you think about that, Bones, but Tua will become the backup to Tom Brady out here in the Dolphins. And then on the away games, he don't travel with the team. He just lets Tua do his thing. You know what I mean? And you just let Teddy Bridge take up the third-string quarterback role. And that's it. You got sunset right there, guy. But essentially, 49ers or Raiders. I think Tom Brady is either going to do that, probably just a 1-year deal, veterans minimum or something like that. But he's not going to get a long-term deal. I don't see him getting anything more than 2 years. 46 years old, guys. I don't think he has too many options left, but he was a top 10 quarterback this year.
Right.
I don't know, man. As soon as the video of Tom Brady taking a tour around Miami for private school for his kids, and a real estate agent confirming that he just bought a Miami home, definitely set Twitter aflame a couple hours ago. The rumors are going to be hot. It's going to be flying left and right as far as Tom Brady and what his decision is next. Clearly, regardless of age, he has shown that he still got it. Like Jerry said, he was a top 10 player this year. Well, no, timeout. Top 10 quarterback, not top 10 player. He was a top 10 quarterback this year. And as good as Evans and Godwin are, everybody knows that Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle are sexier, younger, faster, and better. you do make a case, X, the best skill in the NFL is availability, and Tua had an issue with that. I don't know what they might do. Brady being here is a huge wrench into the what ifs of the world. But my dark horse is San Francisco. I know they have three quarterbacks, but you just never know in the NFL, right? The two guys are going to be around in the circles, in the trade rumors, right? And every little secret that you're going to hear is going to be Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to head out? The Jets is a very good option too. The Jets have two good, viable receivers, a good running game. Once Brees Hall recovers from that ACL, they have a solid defense. They just need a quarterback. What if the stars are lined up again for a Green Bay quarterback to find his way to New York? All right, if we've seen it before, it could happen again. Let's see if history repeats itself there. Also, the Raiders reunion with Devontae Adams, or does Brady go out there? I doubt so. Brady has a kid in New York, and Brady has two kids in Miami. I believe Brady stays East Coast bounds. And the Raiders is going to get somebody big. Packers already came out saying, Benjamin Albright from NFL Network came out saying, Packers confirming that they are not going to trade Aaron Rodgers into the NFC, AFC only.
Yeah, I only see two options there then. Aaron Rodgers either going to go to the Raiders or he's going to go to the Jets. A theory that I presented before the show is that perhaps he just let Devontae Adams go first, get the money that he wanted out of the Raiders. He knew nobody else was going to pay his old ass any more money, so he forced Green Bay to give him his money. And then now he's like, you know what? I don't want to play here no more, man. You know what? It's the end of the road. Switch me out to another team that's willing to pay the contract. And I really see the Raiders doing that because they want to get rid of Derek Carr. Most Ricky Tink, guys. I've been calling it. I've been saying it. He's not the future. He spent a zillion years with the Raiders and didn't make anything happen. He's an average quarterback, just like Dak Prescott, overpaid and overhyped.
But the fact that the Packers already came out saying that they're not going to trade him to the AFC speaks volumes that the wheels are already turning for this to happen. So let's see where this goes, man. I think it's going to be an exciting offseason. The power scales are definitely going to tilt, and it depends on where Rodgers and Brady are going. I don't know, bro. If Brady comes to Miami, I don't know how personally I would feel about that. I believe Tua is our guy moving forward. We have personally said so. But in the past, we have been known to flirt around with Thomas Brady. The University of Michigan connection is there with our owner. But I don't want to see it, though. My feelings don't mean anything to how the Dolphins will move on with this. I see a New York Jets or a Raiders tilt of power within the upcoming months. It's going to be an interesting offseason.
The New York Jets have a few weapons. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up on the Jets. It's typically the washed-up quarterback graveyard, as we all know it. Joe Flacco, Brett Favre. Mark Sanchez. You name it. So if he ends up in the Jets, he probably can take him very far, man. The Jets are looking for somebody to lit that spark. Zach Wilson, just as bad as Jamarcus Russell, in my opinion. And, hopefully that gets Hopefully that gets movement as we progress here towards the Super Bowl. And before we close this one out, guys, what are your predictions for this week? We got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs, 49ers, Eagles. Winner goes to the Super Bowl.
Let's go. I'm gonna pick Kansas City Chiefs because I've just been picking the last few years. And then I'm gonna go with I think the Eagles make the Super Bowl. I think they're going to edge out San Fran. I think Jalen Hurts makes some plays with his legs, and I think they'll make it for an interesting Super Bowl. Two number one seeds meet in the Super Bowl.
I'm going to go with Cincinnati, Philadelphia.
Ooh, okay.
All right, and Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts going to have their college rematch. and it's going to be a nice little rivalry. I just don't trust the Chiefs defense, and Joe Burrow ain't playing around. Both these matchups are hard. And fuck San Fran's 11, 12 game winning streak, whatever that might is. That defense is getting lauded for too much. Brock Purdy being praised for having all-pro Christian McCaffrey, for having all-pro Deebo Samuel, for having all-pro George Kittle. Like,
Bro, who you got?
Over.
Who you got?
Philadelphia, Philly. I see Philly Bengals.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and I predicted this on an earlier episode. It's gonna be the Chiefs. It's gonna be Patty and Hurts. Philadelphia, baby, out here. We're gonna exploit the fact that they don't have white weaponry. We're gonna exploit the fact that Patty is in fact not 100%, and it's gonna be a huge task for him to win another ring under Andy Reid. And that would be the irony of it all. We face Andy Reid at the Super Bowl. That'd be dope.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Baby, facing Andy Reid at the Super Bowl, guys.
I like that headline. Ooh.
All right, so 5 years ago, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and it might be the same result this year. I'm picking the Eagles to go all the way, guys. You know what I gotta do. Jalen Hurts gotta finish the job out here, but the only man that stands in his way is either Burrito or Patty Mahomes, and I'm scared of both them cats. So let's hope I get the right result.
I already see the headlines in the Philadelphia Inquirer. It's going to say, Andy Reid finally helps Philly win a Super Bowl.
Ooh!
Say.
Nah,
listen. The 49ers are done. This Purdy guy needs to go to Purdy Lounge. You know Purdy Lounge? That's where he's going to end up after we sit his ass down because they're not going to score no points this weekend.
Damn, Purdy Lounge. Wow. Throwback.
I miss it. Throwback.
OG throwbacks from my fellow Miamians. So yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up. That wraps up our episode for this week, and I cannot wait for championship weekend, and we shall see who is going to the Super Bowl.
Get it.
And that's all for this episode, guys. I am your host, Jericho, along with my co-host, Bone Santana and X. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit us up on RFS or at Raw Fantasy Sports on IG, and we'll see you next week.